In the previous part of the build I have finished the table saw, but I forgot to record the testing of its results. Here you can see that it came out rather precise, giving me the desired ability to produce nice and square pieces of wood. You can also see a sneak peek of what this part is going to be about. I'm going to build a fence for my new table saw. Building the fence started with cutting some strips of plywood, and I assembled them into a box, following the plans. For now I only use screws, as I will be disassembling it once I am done with the clamping mechanism. For that I needed to cut a piece of threaded rod. I then proceeded to produce a small knob which will be used to set up a tension on the fence. For a detailed build of the mechanism, please see the original build video made by 1 Minute Workbench. When all of the parts were ready, I finally glued up the fence box and left it to dry, using the screws sort of as a clamps. Then I needed to add the two T-shaped parts at each end of the fence, as they are going to clamp the fence to the table. It's crucial to attach them perfectly square to the box, otherwise the fence won't work properly. Using some clamps will make this task really easy. The other end of the fence is slightly smaller, and it's worth noting that a gap between the middle part of the fence and the T-shaped bit must be maintained in order to give it some room for clamping movement. It is now time to test the freshly made fence. The clamping mechanism seems to be working just fine. I was even able to lift the whole box when it's fully clamped. I also checked the squareness of it with the table. It doesn't always autocorrect itself, so it's worth double checking it with a square every now and then. I guess I was not precise enough, but overall it does the job very well. I then added the self-adhesive measuring tape to the table, which was just a quick task. Just need to remember to set up the reference measurement correctly before gluing it onto the surface. To test the fence, I started cutting some more plywood strips, which are going to be used for the material support arm, topic of the second part of this video. Needless to say, I was building the whole thing in a rather awkward order, resulting in the riving knife being added in the next part. The support arm requires a couple of holes drilled in a very precise spots, so it took some time to really focus and do it properly. Two T-nuts need to be pushed into the arm in order to hold the knobs in place, also making the steel tubes stay in their place. This is just one way to thread the inside of a wooden block, but it worked. Once the parts were ready, I needed to cut 2 pieces of steel conduit. I really like the black color, even though the diameter of it is different to what the plans are recommending. You will see in a few minutes why this ended up being a problem. The reason being simple, I was limited to what was available in the store at the time of my visit. I now put together the whole arm and clamped it down using freshly made knobs. Now you should see that I only marked the position of the support holes, but I never finished them. I was somewhat predicting that my conduit may come in a different diameter. Now I needed to reposition the holes. Because of the existing markings, I came up with this idea of using a piece of drilled pallet board to position the drill correctly regardless of the existing holes. It seemed to have worked out okay. With the holes ready, I tested if the support arm fits in correctly and also glued the inner support elements for it. They required a tiny bit of filing here and there, but overall they ended up being correct. Another problem I came across due to the change in diameter of the conduit was clamping didn't work properly and the tubes were coming off the arm way too easily. I decided to solve this problem by cutting and stretching the ends of the tube in order to make them wider. That seemed to do the trick. The support arm is now fully functional and can be used to process much larger stock. I hope you enjoyed this mini-series as much as I do. I see you in the next part building the drill press.